Hello, hello. Welcome back to Flow with Tiffany. I am your guide, Tiffany Lachey. Today's flow is all about reconnecting with yourself. So if you have been feeling a little disconnected, maybe a little misaligned, this is perfect for you. Two things to remember: take everything at your own pace, and don't forget to breathe. See you on your mat. Oh, and if you love this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe and share with a friend. All right, so we're going to start with our legs crossed and our hands on our thighs. You can either bring your hands palms up to absorb the energy in the space, or palms down for a little bit of extra grounding. Once you get settled, just go ahead, take a nice deep exhale, sucking your belly button to your spine and just releasing all the stale air out of your body. Now take a nice deep inhale, expanding through the lungs down into the belly, and exhale, release. One more time, nice deep inhale, and exhale, soften your shoulders and your body down to the mat. Start to slowly wiggle your fingers in a pattern that you feel most comfortable with. And then when you're ready, go ahead, take your pointer fingers behind your ear and just start to massage up and down. Continue to use your fingers to massage the back of your ears, dropping your shoulders, just softening down through your body, remembering to breathe. As you continue massaging, just repeat after me. It is not selfish to slow down. It is not selfish to reconnect with my spirit. I am allowed to pause, breathe, and step away from the noise so that I can hear my own voice again. Place your hands back on your thighs, and we'll start with a couple shoulder rolls. So just bringing your shoulders up by your ears, squeezing your shoulders blades together, and then relaxing them down. 2 more times. Roll your shoulders to the back of the room. 1 more time, really deep, squeezing those shoulders up by your ears. And then we'll rotate going towards the front of the room. So squeezing your shoulder blades, then rotating your shoulders up by your ears, and then releasing them down to the front of your body. And again, really exaggerating every movement, feeling the connection between our movements and our breath. Go ahead back to your seated position. We're going to go ahead and rock our feet to the back of our mat. We're going to start to move into our tabletop position. So this is on all fours with your wrists in alignment with your shoulders and your knees in alignment with your hips. Gaze just above your mat. You're going to roll your shoulders backwards and suck your belly button into your spine to add length. And just press firmly down into your mat. We're just going to hold here for a moment, really feeling the safety and security of the foundation below us. On your next inhale, rise into a cow pose. So that's lifting your chin towards the ceiling, dropping your belly as you roll your shoulders back, and as your tailbone goes towards the sky. And then as you exhale, flowing into cat position, so pushing your hips towards the front of the room, arching your spine vertebrae by vertebrae as you tuck your chin into your chest. Now let's continue with that flow. Inhaling cow, and then exhaling cat. Now feel free to go at my pace, or you can go at your own. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. And on your last exhale, go ahead back into our neutral tabletop position. We're going to bring our right foot towards the back of the mat, pointed and squeezing through our glutes. And then we're going to shift it onto the side of our mat in alignment with our hip. You can readjust if you need to, but you really want to press through that right foot and really press the hip forward just slightly. We're going to take a nice deep inhale, and we're going to press our hips forward. And then as we exhale, press our hips down to our heels. We'll flow through this 2 more times, inhaling, lifting, pressing our hips forward. And then as we exhale, sending our hips down to our heels. Last time, nice deep inhale, press your hips forward. And as you exhale, send those hips back down to the heels. And then we'll rise up back into our neutral position with our right leg out. Go ahead and bring the right knee back to meet the left knee in our tabletop position, and we'll flow to the other side. So first, send the left foot to the back of the mat with your foot pointed, and then send it to the side in alignment with your hip. Again, readjust if you need to, but remember to press that weight into the left foot. And we'll take a nice deep inhale, pressing our hips, sending our weight to the front of the room. And then as you exhale, send your hips back down to your heels. Again, you can go at my pace or your own. Nice deep inhale, weight to the front of the room. And then as you exhale, send the hips down to the heels. Last time, make it your best time. Inhale, weight goes to the front. And as you exhale, bring your hips down to the heels. Rise back up into our neutral position, and then just bring your left knee to meet your right knee in our neutral tabletop position. So next we're going to do a couple pelvic circles, and this is where you have the opportunity to really tune into your body. So we're going to start to the right side, just bringing our right hip to the right side of the mat, then bringing our hips down to our heels, then hips to the left, and forward. We're just 2 more times, but just kind of follow your own organic movement. Listen to your body. You may want to add a couple neck rolls. It's our last time. And then once you get to the front, we're just going to do it 3 times to the left. So send your hips to the left, then bring your hips down to your heels, to the right, and then forward. 2 more times. Remember to follow your intuition, your own pace, and listen into what your body tells you is right for you. Last time. Hips to the right, and then hips forward. We'll flow back into our tabletop position. And here I just want you to start walking your hands towards the front of the mat with your fingers spread wide, until your chest gently starts to melt down to the mat. We want to keep our hips high and in alignment with our knees. Go ahead, allow your chin to tuck into your chest and your forehead to gently rest on the mat. We're just going to pause here for a breath to tune into our spirit and just listen to anything that our spirit may be telling us. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and start to walk your hands back to your knees, and we're going to land in that tabletop position. We'll take a nice deep inhale, gaze just above our mat. And as you exhale, flow into downward facing dog. You're going to press firmly into the tops of your hands and press your hips to the back of the mat. Gaze is going to be in between your calves, and just allow your shoulders to soften. You also have an option here to really bend your knees just slightly in order to focus on your back bend. And here we're just going to take some time to find some organic movement. You may want to bend your knees, go into a child's pose, pop back up into a downward facing dog, maybe rock back and forth. But one more breath here just to have your time and have your moment. On your next inhale, gaze forward at the top of your mat and start to walk your feet towards the top of your mat, right behind your wrists into a forward fold. Once you get your feet behind your wrist, tuck your chin into your chest, place your hands behind your calves. We're going to take a nice deep inhale, kind of lift up through your shoulders. And then as you exhale, see if you can tuck your chin just a little bit more into your chest and bring your chest just a little closer to your thighs. Awesome job. Go ahead and plant your hands back on to the mat. It's a slight bend into your knee. And slowly start to roll into mountain pose, lengthening your hands towards the ceiling. Once you are here, you just want to ground your weight in all four corners of your feet. Squeeze through your quads and suck your belly button into your spine to find length. And you want to relax your shoulders down. Now take your hands and place them on opposite elbows here, just cupping them gently and softly. We're going to take a nice deep inhale, really press through your chest. And as you exhale, I want you to push your hips forward, push your chest towards the ceiling, and start to send your arms to the back of the room. So we are going to continue to hold here. And this is a pose that reminds us that even in constricted positions, you can still take up space. Slowly start to lift your arms back into our mountain pose position. We're going to take a slight bend in our knee. Bring your arms down into your belly. And we're going to slowly start to bend our knees, lowering down into a squat. Start to tuck your chin into your chest and really focus your weight into the balls of your feet. Once you get low enough, you're going to wrap your arms around your calves and just squat here. Now you can play around here. We're going to hold, but if you want to lift up on your toes and then relax back down on your heels and, just play around with movement here. Again, we're all about listening to our body and our intuition. And here we are reminded that even when we take up space, that it is also important and such a joy to come back to ourselves, come back to the home that resides in each and every one of us. On your next inhale, go ahead and start to lower down, sending your hips to the mat. You can also place your hands behind you just for a little bit of stability and foundation. We're going to take our arms in front of us, placing our palms together. And we're going to bring our knees up with the bottoms of our feet flat towards the mat. On your next inhale, go ahead and start to rotate your hand to the back of the room. So we're going to bring it up towards the sky, around us, and then back to meet our palm in the front. Once you are there in the front, you're going to take your right hand, place it on your left shoulder, and your left hand on your right shoulder. We'll take a nice deep inhale, start to lift your hands up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, go ahead and bring them back into your chest, tucking your chin in here. And as we inhale, we're going to open up our arms, reach them high to the ceiling, and then bring them down to our cactus arms with our elbows in alignment with our shoulders, really pressing our shoulder blades together and pressing down through our hips. And then we'll bring our hands back together in front of us, palms together. We're going to lower our knees down to the mat, and we're going to repeat that again. So take a nice deep inhale, reach your right hand high towards the ceiling, and then bring it behind you, a nice little circle until it reaches back at your palm. We're going to place our right hand over our left shoulder and our left hand over our right shoulder. Option to have your elbows in alignment, but if that is not possible, then that is totally fine. Take a nice deep inhale, reach your elbows high towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, bring the elbows into your stomach, chin into your chest, arching your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Go ahead, rise back up, and we'll release to the other side. So bring your knees back up, bottoms of feet are flat towards the mat. Arms are in front of you, palms pressing firmly together. We'll take a nice deep inhale, start to lift your left hand high and circle it around until it lands back at your right palm. Bring your left hand to your right shoulder and then your right hand to your left shoulder. Take a nice deep inhale, we'll bring our elbows up high. And as we exhale, we'll bring our elbows down to our stomach, placing our chin into our chest, pressing down through our hips. On your next inhale, go ahead and rise back up. We're going to reach our hands up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to place them into a cactus pose position with our elbows in alignment with our shoulders. Relax your shoulders down to the mat. And then we're going to bring our palms back together with our arms in front. Now go ahead and bring your knees down to the mat. Take a nice deep inhale and start to rotate that left hand up towards the sky, then towards the back of the room, down towards your mat until it meets your right palm in front. We're going to place our left hand on our right shoulder and then our right hand on our left shoulder. Take a nice deep inhale, rise up, reaching our elbows toward the ceiling, and then we'll exhale, bringing our elbows down into our stomach. On your next inhale, go ahead, reach your hands high with our mountain pose arms, and then bring them down to a cactus position with your elbows in alignment with your shoulders. We're going to press our chest out and then bring our hands back in front of us with our palms touching. And then we'll go ahead and release. So we're going to bring our knees back up with the bottoms of our feet flat towards the mat. And we're just going to slowly lower down. So grab behind your thighs on your glutes. And I want you to relax your shoulders back, bring your shoulder blades together, and then just slowly lower down. And as you do, just allow your spine to arch vertebrae by vertebrae. Squeeze through your core, and then lift your chin towards the sky until your shoulders gently land down here on the mat. Now we'll take a nice deep inhale. You're going to bring your knees down to each side of the mat in a supine butterfly pose, bottoms of feet to touch. Placing your hand on your belly, squeezing your shoulder blades together, tucking your chin just slightly to the front of the room as we flow into our final resting pose. So now as we stay in our resting pose, I just want you to intake this affirmation. Today I choose to return to my center, to the wisdom and softness that reside in my spirit. When something or someone pulls me away from my center, I lovingly create a path to return without judgment. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, just soften your body one last time before we go about our day. The light in me sees, honors, recognizes, and appreciates the light in you. And we will end our practice with Ashe. And thank you so much for coming and flowing with me today.